So good morning. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to speak up, but I'm in front of the 928 and I'm going to just live stream this, and I need to change the radiator. I'll show you the other, if you look in the other camera, well, it's on the far side there, it is leaking. So the radiator has plastic sides to it. So even though the core is of aluminum and steel, the sides are the weak point on these radiators. The radiator we're about to put in is all aluminum. It's a high performance unit, and the problems I'm running into right now should be alleviated. And this is the last of the leaks that I should be having problems with. First thing I'm going to do is crawl underneath. If you watch in the upper right hand corner, or the upper right hand corner, I have the lower camera on, and you'll see me. First thing I'm going to do is there's a little blue drain plug. I'm going to take care of that. All right, that was a little messy, but it's going. I think you can see it in the background there. What I did just there was release the radiator cap, and that's really letting the air in and let it drain. Okay. So let's do it. Taking out the air intake hoses. That's going to give me a little access to it. You can see the coolant draining. What I'm doing here is there's some 10mm screws I'm going to take off. That's good. Okay, so what I'm taking off is with those two screws, these are the air intakes and the upper radiator fan shroud. So as soon as that stops draining, I'm going to take that out. The next thing I've got is this hose. I believe it's the Reservoir return hose, and it mounts to the front of the radiator, and I need to unscrew that. I'm taking the upper radiator hose off. One of the things you may be wondering is, if you followed along, one of the first things I did when I bought the car was we did a major service on it, so it was the timing belt, and when you do that, the water pump's actually behind it. Nick and I, my buddy Nick and I did that. It was the fall of 20 actually. So anyway, these hoses are all new, or a year old, and it's just a matter of, I'm not too worried about them being out of shape yet. Just going to stick an old microfiber towel in that. It's drained, but I don't want that getting on what's left of the paint. There's 4 connections to the radiator. On the driver's side, the oil cooler comes into this, the left side of what would be the driver's side of the radiator, looking from the driver's seat. Those are fairly big nuts. I just replaced the oil cooler lines, but this is going to be a bit of a mess because when I take this off, I'm expecting to lose a bit of oil. And on this side is really is the problem that's been giving me. This is the side of the radiator that's been giving me trouble. There, on the 928, the automatic transmission is in the back. It's a transaxle to give the car 50-50 weight distribution. Running all the way back to the back, to the front, is on this side of the radiator is the transmission cooler lines. So what I was noticing is, as the car gets up to temperature, I wouldn't get transmission fluid leaking, I would get coolant leaking. And talked to some experts, and that's a sign that this plastic side is in fact shot on the radiator. Next on the agenda is the lower fin housing. You'll see me taking that off. I'll get that out of the way. now, I think I'm just going to loosen it up here, and I think that's probably a 13 millimeter bolt. Okay, not too bad. These oil cooler lines are 32 millimeter, so it's the big dog wrench. I gotta remember which way. Okay, and I figured, luckily, these were just put on a week or so ago. Yeah. So I'm going to tie that one off real quick. So normally you'd probably see this if there was oil pressure right now with the engine running, this would be flowing pretty good. And my guess is there's going to be some at the bottom here. Yeah, just as I expected. Nick and I knew going into this that with everything I did on the engine, plus the age of the oil, that this first batch of oil and the filter would just be literally throwaway, because you never know what metal particles you get in it. And you know, if I knew I was going to do the radiator, I probably would have bought that ahead of time. I was trying to avoid that cost, but bit me again. That's a knuckle right on the fan. Okay, I looked out on the top one. The top one came off without taking the radiator fitting with it. So alright, let that drain out a little bit, but you know I got it off here. Nope. Yep, there we go. I think it's going to come out. Alright, just bear with me for a second here while I figure it out. Oh, one more connection. And all right, so there's a temperature thing here on the front, and here's the back side of the radiator. This is facing the engine, and I can hold it like this. So this is all aluminum in here. These, it's hard to tell, but they are actually plastic. So this is the oil outlet, oil inlet, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know out there. Either way, basically it's the oil cooler in here. This is plastic. It's injection molded plastic that somehow bonded to the side of the radiator, and this is what fails after 37 years, something like that. All right, so what's concerning to me is I bought this radiator for 928S RS, and I asked them, whatever I need to put this in, send me. And I'm a little concerned they didn't send me, add this Behr thermocouple to it, and I'm gonna be pissed if if I can't get, well, it'd be one thing if I can get this out. It does, I know it works, but it'll be pissy if I put it in and then somehow it leaks. I don't know. We're gonna see in a minute here. Let me show you this. Tough to see here, but the biggest performance improvement is this is all aluminum on the side. Get it out of its casing here. Okay. So that's what it looks like. You can see here's all the fittings. Everything looks about right. Everything's, gotta show it a little bit better. But here's the passenger side. That's the, obviously the upper hose. This is the upper and lower transmission coolant lines. This is the one I gotta get off. So this is welded into place. Imagine that, welded into place. So that's a beautiful thing. On the other side is the lower radiator hose, and then the oil return and fill line. And then on this side is where that sensor goes. I'm going to give that a spritz of PB Blaster here. Let's hope this 1 1/8 breaker bar does it. Nah, I got another one. Oh, that came off. Right tool for the job. Okay, everything's off of that radiator. Call it Garage. Oh, it came out. Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you, liquid wrench. All right. Okay. So there we go. I gotta take this piece off. So now I'm gonna use that on the vise. Or I should be able to get it. This would also be a time when I swear. And then, and then just like that it goes in, if you know. It's almost there. I got it. There we go. Alright, nice new bump stop. Nice new bump stop. Great. 5 minutes after I decided to quit the recording, I realized that the cap that this comes with has an O-ring, so I don't know if it's going to work. I have a feeling it's not. All right. Oh boy. What's holding me back? Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh God. Fuck me. Oh boy. Holding that up. Come on. Oh, why did you put that in now? What the fuck, Rudy? Okay. We're in. We're in. toss in